Ladies and gamers, my name is BelleNOiR, and you are watching Cast My Game episode number 3. Today's Thursday, and I just came back from work, and I'm tired. Oh, I hate being tired and then immediately going casting, but that's what happens sometimes. So, 2 episodes behind us, 2 episodes in front of us, including today's one. Uh, because I'm not doing anything during the weekends. Jeez, forget about it. I want to play sometimes as well. So, welcome everyone and anyone that has tuned in and is actually watching the stream. Hello there, Sonayo, Corm, Moomincake, Revengale, and Sparks. Of course, some of these guys have been here sometimes before. Some of these guys are new. So, if you're new, hello. And yeah, so I suppose we should get right on to it. Today we'll have 4 games as usual. And let me just recap the rules. If you have a master versus master 1v1 replay that is around 20 in-game minutes long, and you want me to cast the replay, send it to my email address, which you can see just below the camera window. It is bellenoir@sysnum.cz. Please do include a short description. Most important things, of course, are which one of the 2 players is you. Obvious. And you can also write something, very short about what the game was about, shortly, what interesting things happened. Just a very short recap in 2 or 3 sentences. I'd be very grateful for that. And of course, if you have a team, if you have a website, if you have a stream, if you have a Twitter, and you want me to do any shoutouts for you when I'm casting your game before or after, just include those links in the email as well, and I'll be sure to do that. And actually, I think that I forgotten to do the shoutouts yesterday. Oh my god. That's horrible of me. But I can't remember which player it was I wanted to shout out for. That's Oh, here we go. It was Penguin. So I'm just going to copy paste Penguin's social information right now into the chat because he showed us some pretty awesome play yesterday. And I would like you guys to check him out. He's a Zerg player, very highly ranked Zerg player at that. He's from Team My Insanity. I do believe Tarson is a member of that team as well. Yeah, and you can follow him at MYI Penguin. So there you go. If you are a Zerg player and would want to check out really crisp play, trust me on this, his play is really refined. Then just check him out, go to his stream, check out the VODs if he has any there. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Alright, so what do we have today in store for you guys? Hello there, Nifty Nathan. We have a PvT to start things off on Star Station, then we're going to continue on with a PvZ action on Daybreak. Then we're going to jump into a ZVT on Belshir Vestige and finish the cast up with some very exciting ZVP action on Akilon Wastes. So you have a lot to look forward to. Let me just load up the first replay here, and we'll jump right on in. Okay, so here on Star Station we have a red Protoss player, Big Bro, spawning in the bottom right position, and his opponent for today is going to be the blue Terran Reiko spawning at the top left. So bottom right versus top left, cross spawns. Those are, you know, pretty much, if you want to go for a longer macro game, those are pretty much the best spawns you can wish for. Already we can see a very friendly chat banter going on between these two guys. As, well, Reiko opts not to block the ramp, so probably he won't be opening up with the gas. Or, you know, well, maybe he will, but probably he won't be trying to hide any sort of like factory opening or something. Probably will go just with a typical normal barracks opening because of this. And we see the Protoss, well, that's a really odd scouting timing on 10 before he gets his gateway, but alright. So 13 gate going down. Okay, so he scouted just before this 13 gate, so it was a 12 scout actually, not a 10. And we see a pretty normally timed gas going down for the Terran player Reiko here. Big Bro will not be able to find his opponent on the first try. He will have to try another location after he checks this location right here. And there we go. Let's look at the APM for both of these players, and we can see that it is pretty high. Gas just now finishing for Big Bro. No 2 gas openings means that, you know, the tech is going to be normally timed. Everything will progress at a normal pace. And well, we can see that no Reapers so far are being produced because there is not enough gas yet, but there will be in a short while once this Marine pops out. And judging just by the fact that no additional Marine is queued up, I have to assume it's going to be... Whoa! Alright, it's going to be a reactor, and Big Bro has seen the reactor. Now I have not actually caught on to the fact if he clicked on the add-on to make sure it is a reactor and not a tac lab, because sometimes in the early stages, you know, you can have trouble differentiating between those two, but that's only sometimes. So as the cybernetics core finishes up, we have already a Chronobus going down onto the Nexus, trying to get that mothership core out as fast as possible, and we do see a second gas being taken after the first Zealot. But unfortunately, Big Bro is kind of supply blocked, so this is a very bad thing for you to happen if you're a Protoss player, because you really want to get rid of that SCV as fast as humanly possible for 2 reasons, especially if you're taking the second gas. You don't want the SCV to see your tech choice, and you don't want the SCV to start building a friggin' engineering bay at your expansion. Speaking of expansions, we do have a command center under construction here for Reiko. So he is going to be 1 Rex expanding with a reactor. Now, you don't see this build very often, but it is a little bit of a, you know, versatile build. Why I say that? Because with a reactor, if you have constant production, you can pump out an outrageous number of Marines and go for a very early, like 6-minute pure Marine pressure into the natural, and hope to, you know, kill some stuff. Maybe even deny the Nexus a little bit if the Protoss is not being careful. And I think this is exactly what Reiko will try to do here. He already has 7 Marines out, 8th just now popped, and is getting a factory straight up, so transitioning out of this very, very quickly. Meanwhile, Big Bro using this mothership core to scout. Oh, and there was a scout by Reiko as well. Let's see what he saw. He did see the robotic facility and the second gateway, so and the expansion, so he pretty much knows everything that's going on. The mothership core, meanwhile, just using time warp here onto the minerals to lower the income for the Terran player a little bit. And we can see that it's marginally lower, just by a little bit. But you know, those mules will make up for it. And ooh, here's the push Here is the push, so let us see how many Marines we have with this. 12 Marines, that is really strong. What do we have home for the Protoss player? He's getting double forges. He's got a third gateway on the way, but he's got only one sentry, a Stalker, and a Zealot, 2 more sentries being warped in, and an Immortal being produced. Better fix that rally, you don't want that Immortal to be sniped. And this Observer has not seen the units. The Mothership Core maybe will intercept the Marines and get killed in the process if he's not careful. And, well, so far Reiko has no idea, but he's assuming a defensive posture. That's very good of him, that's a very wise thing to do. And right now this Zealot dies for the Golden Armada and brings in crucial scouting information. Those Marines are getting perilously close, and since the Mothership Core has used that energy before on the Time Warp, doesn't have quite enough for the Photon Overcharge. There we go, the Photon Overcharge goes down. Both force fields have been used, but those Marines pack too much over firepower. They might even get this Immortal if they're careful and Star Step correctly. Keep in mind the Photon Cannon only has enough power as a well, as a Photon Cannon. I mean, Nexus Cannon has only enough punch as a Photon Cannon. But okay, so that's been taken care of. But units lost tab show us that the Protoss is actually behind. And more importantly, the most important thing in this, he lost quite a lot of sentries. In fact, he lost all of his sentries. That's a lot of gas, and he does not want to be remaking those sentries. He wants to be putting that gas into his double ups. He wants to be getting a Twilight Council. He wants to be going into Storm, and frankly, he can't. He has to rebuild those sentries. Meanwhile, we do have additional barracks on the back of this going down in Reiko's base, and a double engineering base, both cranking out upgrades. If we look at the army sizes right now, we can see that Big Bro just made a huge warp in here, so he is ahead. Reiko really, you know, he knows the Protoss, after what he's done to him, cannot really be aggressive, so he cut all production and got up his infrastructure. His base is almost saturated down here. He's getting a third command center as well, and the Protoss sees this, so you know, now he can kind of either expand himself, like here, or he can try to attack. He definitely cannot let this go on unpunished. Twilight Council going down a little bit later than you would have want. Ideally, you want that put down when your +1/+1 is about 50% on the way, so that it syncs up perfectly with your upgrades. But that's okay, because the armory timing for Reiko is not perfect by any means neither, so let us see. We have one sentry with this, but we do have 2 Immortals and an Observer that is providing high ground vision. And there is only one bunker. It is true, however, that these buildings here, you know, those are the force field. Oh my god, is he going? He's salvaging the bunker. Oh my goodness. He does not have that big of an army. And the medevac might get sniped even. He has... Come on, use those boosters, man. Okay, he's using the army to save the medevac. And right now, he has to back off a little bit. Himself some space, and 2 Immortals, man, they pack quite a punch, but the micro is going to be very important here, and so far these force field, for example, is not doing all that much good for Big Bro, hindering him more than helping him even. But right now the Zealots are gone, and that means he can start microing with these units and forget about the force fields. But he must have missed a warp in. There's no reinforcing proxy pylon. That was the biggest mistake that Big Bro made, actually. Because, you know, whenever you want to go for an attack like this, you have to make sure that you have more gates behind it, and that you have a proxy pylon somewhere here so you can reinforce. But this was just kind of like donating his army. Meanwhile, a Warp Prism harassment was used here in the main base. Let's see how many SCVs gone down. 28, quite a sizable amount of SCVs have been killed, that is true. That Warp Prism even can go for a second round, and now the gateways are coming down. Okay, so a little bit of a reverse order compared to what you naturally want to be having, and we also have a Dark Shrine being built and on the way. Let's see the Harvester counts. 28 for the turn, 45 for the Protoss. I wouldn't expand right now. Big Bro. I would just wait, because you do have the advantage. You need to tech, defend, and you'll be just fine. But as it is, this base will have to be cancelled. And Whoa, that was a solid kill there. No cancel at all. So all this will be killed. The Dark Shrine is slowly but surely finishing up, and that's a cue for the War Prism to start moving. And look at this, the Terran is pulling back in worker counts. And he can actually... How big of an army is here? Just Zealot Stalkers, he can actually try to kill the Natural right here. Meanwhile, we have those DTs running around here somewhere. Oh, sorry, I missed that. And a defensive DT Warpin as well. Those are going to do a number on the infantry. Do we actually have any scans available? Yes, we do, but for some reason, Reiko opts not to scan. Maybe he doesn't realize there are DTs here. Now he has to know. I mean, that army is just getting caught up by the DTs. Oh my goodness! And Blink comes into play as well. And Big Bro, well, he has Reiko on the run. Do we have any more DTs somewhere around here? No, not that I see any, but more... Actually, 0 Harvesters. So that War Prism must have turned around when Big Bro saw that he is being attacked. This is such a back and forward game. Charge going down right now, and +3/+3 will be queued up momentarily here. But, you know, at this point in time, Big Bro really needs that third base, because Reiko has his, and, you know, triple producing SCVs. He's going to catch up in the worker count very, very fast, as we can see, and now he's marginally ahead in the economy, accounting for those 3 mules. Let's see what the upgrades are. 1-1 for the Terran, 2-2 for the Protoss. Okay, so Big Bro can actually do this. He can actually engage as long as there are no ghosts here. He has a couple of Archons. He has the upgraded advantage, but he needs to be making mass Zealot Warpins. And where is that proxy pylon? Okay, we have a proxy War Prism. I guess that's enough. Meanwhile, he's securing his third base. He's getting that +3/+3, and here we have Widow Mine Snipe. Very nice. Nice spreading of the army by Reiko, by the way. You always want to split that army up before you engage. Needs to form another concave right here. There he goes, steaming in and trying to go in. Time Warp going down on the infantry. Perfect Time Warp, allowing those Archons to maximize their damage potential. And again, we see the DTs doing the majority of the damage here. And again, we see no scans despite Reiko having 3 orbital commands. I don't know if he unhotkeyed them or something, but... I mean, 1 scan, and he could have easily won that fight. Instead, as it is, he's just pulling back, and he's trying to get more units out, and he does have enough production, especially once those add-ons finish. Here we have another push in by Big Bro. He really is intent on taking out that third base. Let's see if he can actually do it. Man, those DTs! I mean... 14 kills on this one DT, and he's down to 6 hit points. Are you friggin' kidding me? Use scans, please. Please use scans. There we go, finally realizing there are DTs on the field. But you know, the good thing about DTs is you can always morph them into Archons. And I have to point out one thing. We have 2-2 finish for the Terran, but 3-3 will be finishing for the Protoss very, very soon here. And we don't have 3-3 queued up for Reiko yet, despite him being able to do so. He definitely does have the resources. And you know, Big Bro going with a very odd composition here. He's getting a lot of Stalkers. I don't know how much I agree with that, because honestly, Stalkers are not that good, especially in the late game, where when the upgrades get quite high. Oh, was that War Prism seen? I think it was, but I think it may have been, but Reiko is not responding to this, and that War Prism contains 4 DTs. And despite him knowing there are DTs on the field, he still has 0 missile turrets in his bases. I think he just wants to kill this third base because he saw it going down with the SCV. And well, okay, he doesn't know about the Robo-Bay, but he does know about the third, and he is really desperate to kill that off. Again, Big Brother, assuming a defensive posture near the wall. And here we go. Oh, that's a huge Artosis pylon, empowering 4 gateways, no less. But I think this is just a little bit too much for Reiko here to handle, especially with 7 DTs slashing and hacking at his army. Where is he scanning? Okay, in the main base. So the War Prism did end up unloading its load, and oh my God! It actually did snipe off that command center. That's a huge pickup. Beautiful move there by Big Bro, choosing to go in with that War Prism just when Reiko was attacking. Perfect time to harass, actually. Now he knows there's a Widow Mine here, so he would be wise to take care of that. There we go. 5 gateways have been repowered. 3-3 is finished for the Protoss. Double Colossus production on the way. Thermal Lance on the way as well. So he's sitting pretty. Huge drop in the natural base. Trying to take out the Nexus, but no, does not manage to do so. Instead, taking out 13 workers. And now loading off into the main base. And I don't... Well, can he actually get this Nexus? No, he's going after the pylons. At the same time, another attack near the front. Even SCVs have been pulled. Lots of Widow Mines, lots of SCVs, lots of infantry here. Can he actually do it, saving some of the units from the main and going after the third, but killing gateways is not what you want to be doing at this time, Reiko. You want to be killing that Nexus. Go, do it, bro! Another defensive DT Warpin, and this time he's more on top with the scans, scanning immediately, but instead targeting the Colossi, trying to bring them down. That's not going to work. This Warp Prism is still poised to strike whenever Big Brother defends this, and I think he's going to defend it just fine. And right now, the Terran army is routed, 52 workers killed, only 36 SCVs remaining, and there's a GGG by Reiko. That was a... That was a very bad game. Oh. I mean, not scanning the whole game. Seeing the... And not, like... Oh my god, why wouldn't you scan when there are DTs? That's just inexcusable. Hey there, Noir Kamui. What refund are you talking about, Revangale? You're not paying, you're not a subscriber, and I'm not a Twitch partner. But if you want to start paying me, go ahead. Your time. Oh, lol. Okay, let's go into the second game. The second game, guys, is going to be a ZVP, and might I say thank you very much for watching. Wait a minute, Noir Kamui. I am starting streaming at 20. So you should have been able to catch the stream. Anyways, going into this game, we do have a Red Zerg rear spawning on Daybreak in the top position here. And his opponent is going to be the purple Protoss player Stallion, spawning opposite direction diagonally in the top, in the bottom left. And this, I do believe, is a game from some sort of qualifiers. Let me actually check, because I have to do some shoutouts as well. Okay, so this game was submitted by Rear from Hiding Breed. This is the link to their web, and this is a round of 16 IESF qualifier game 1. It was a best of 3 series, which he ended up winning 2-1. So, but I don't know which game he submitted. I don't know if he's going to win this one or lose this one. I don't know if it's the middle one or you know, one of those two that he ended up winning. And of course, you can follow Rear at RearSC on Twitter. And according to his info he posted, this is from the SEA servers. So, alright, pool going down at a normal timing here, and it was seen by the probe. We have a Nexus first going down by Stallion. So he's playing, you know, he's playing pretty standard. No cannon rushing or any of the sort will be going down, and no gas being taken neither by rear. So both of these players playing very, very standard so far. And interestingly enough, Stallion is going to is he going to retreat that probe? Yeah, looks like he's going to retreat that probe all the way back to the home base. And wow, even getting a pylon before the gateway. Really greedy play, I have to say that. Really greedy play. Okay, so rear, just getting his overlords up, getting the first couple of links that will be used to scout for proxy pylons, and of course this probe that made it back, all the way back home. So cannon going down will be followed by a gateway. Pretty normal, but very greedy, I have to say. Very, very greedy by rear. I mean by Stallion. And rear is going to be taking his third expansion. Come on, do it. Thank you. So there we have the third expansion going down, and as I said before, scouting links are going about their business, scouting for pylons, probes, and such. Now, Daybreak has recently been taken out of the ladder map pool. It's been there for long enough. I know it's a great map, but come on, aren't you a little bit tired of Daybreak? I'm not saying that the new maps are better, but yeah, Daybreak has been there for a pretty long time. Okay, so apparently the Lings have found absolutely nothing. And here we have a rescout by Stallion. And if he's not careful, he will run into these Lings, most probably. Yep, looks like it. Oh, actually, the probe was spotted by an Overlord. And look at the reaction time of rear. He's immediately on top of that drone. Getting it down. Now, interesting thing, third gas before any kind of tech going down by Stallion. So this either means he wants to open up with a Robo or a Stargate and have a lot of sentries at his disposal, or he wants to be going DTs or something similar. Because there is no reason to be getting third gas before you get your tech. And, well, there goes the mothership core. And so far, well, gas is being taken at approximately normal timing here, just as the third base is finishing. So nothing unusual by rear so far, and let us see what kind of tech option will Stallion choose to go for. Alright, so he's doing the good old classic Zealot Stalker mothership core harassment. He knows about the third, obviously. That probe did not, I think, ended up scouting it. And speaking of scouting, rear gets an absolutely clear scout on this Stargate. Starts his speed and puts down a third hatch very quickly. I mean fourth hatch, a macro hatch, very, very quickly. Now, ordinarily, when you do this... Okay, so, just for everybody out there, this is sort of indicative of mass speedling or baneling strategies. Nice time warp there by Stallion, getting one link for free there. And trying to do as much damage as he can, you know, but really he should be hightailing it out of there right now because there are too many links for him to handle. And we see Stallion immediately going into robotic facility, getting phoenixes off of this one Stargate. How many phoenixes does he actually have? One so far. He'll be getting a second one though. And yeah, because this very, very, very fast hatch indicates that you want to have a lot of larvae at your disposal. Now, why would you want a lot of larvae? To produce units that are really larva inefficient, and the only unit in a Zerg's arsenal that is so inefficient on larva counts is the Zerglings. And, well, we already have quite a lot of them out on the field. 22. Look at this. Rear is even behind in worker counts compared to the Protoss, which almost never is the case if you're playing a macro game. So I think he's going to be using a lot of those links for map control. He knows the Stargate opening means that the Colossi are going to be delayed somewhat. There are not going to be all that many sentries, and the gateway count will also stay a little bit low until you can get your third base up. So, you know, having a lot of speedlings can prove to be quite useful for you now. Also, we see a Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber. Wait a minute, what is going on here? Oh my god. Okay, okay, alright. Alright. Ventral sacs being researched. Pneumatized carapace. Glial reconstitution. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see some pretty cool drops, I hope. Because otherwise, I cannot explain this. It's not synced up perfectly as it should be when you're trying to go for drops, but, you know, the tech will be there. Now the question is, can Rear do this fast enough? Because I know he's got his lair, but he's staying on Ling Roach. He's got nothing else. He wasn't mining quite a lot of gas, just now taking those additional geysers, and he will have quite a lot of production with this macro hatch, but you know, his tech is so far behind, as is his economy. He only just now pumped additional 15 drones or so. So this has to do a lot of damage. This has to do a lot of damage. If it doesn't, then Rear is going to have a big problem. He's going to be facing Void Rays, Colossi, double upgraded Protoss army. Speaking of upgrades, we're on 1-1 for the Protoss, 0-0 for the Zerg, but he's getting ranged upgrades. So, you know, if this fails, or if this gets defended, his only option, basically, or the most smoothest option, is to go with the Roach Hydra. And that's not going to be super effective, because we have Colossi on the field. Nice Zealot block there, by the way. Look how the Roaches are desperately trying to walk around, get at that Colossus, but they can't. Zealots in front of them and force fields behind them. That was a very cost-effective engagement for the Protoss player. And now a lot of Overlords will go down, but they will not supply block Rear, because he's made Overlords all the way up to 200 food, and oh my goodness. Here we have the Overlords moving out. The third base just now finished for Stallion. Does he have anything in his main base? No, he doesn't. Does he even know this is coming? No, he has not scouted the main base at all. Those Phoenixes missed the moving Overlords by about 30 seconds. More Lings and more Roaches are being rallied into the third, tying the army there. The army pretty much will be defending the third. And if this drop, where are the units that are supposed to be loaded up into the Overlords? I mean, this is a great move, but you need to drop with something. Meanwhile, the Protoss army is all out of force fields, and the Roaches are tearing through the rest. Nice positioning on the Zealots, trying to take out the Zerglings, and, well, I think he will get this third base. Quite a lot of probes have gone down as well, 21 to be quite exact. Those Phoenixes in the midst of this are doing absolutely nothing, proving to be quite useless to the Protoss Golden Armada right now. And this Protoss, oh my god, this Colossus is actually going to go down. That was a huge loss. Miss micro by Stallion, and his third is going to go down as well. These Stalkers will change nothing on the fact, and Phoenixes have scouted the fourth base, excuse me, and more Roaches being rallied across the map. Do we have more Colossi on the way? Oh my goodness, why? You see mass Roaches, you have to be getting Immortals. Immortals and Sentries is how you defend. Colossi don't do enough damage fast enough, but these Overlords, I think that Stallion has absolutely no idea. And, you know, as if Rear wasn't in a good enough of a position after that attack at the third, he's going to be dropping into the main. Now we see it on the minimap. Oh, and he's pulling all his units back into the main. Void Rays are being produced. Roaches are being unloaded. There's not that many Roaches here though, but he can go ahead and unpower all these structures if he wants to. Meanwhile, the second group of Roaches is going for the third yet again, but the third has not yet been rebuilt. So they are going to backstab the Protoss from the back, getting the Cyber Core. Goodbye, Stalkers. No more sentries. And even more probes going down. 44 probes total have been killed. The Protoss is down to 29 probes. Meanwhile, the second group of roaches is just ravaging the Protoss front. This army is too slow to respond. There are almost no force fields remaining. Beautiful time warp going down, but Rear is already pulling back, switching into Hydra mode, producing as many Hydras as he can afford to, and he's just in a commanding position in this game. His fourth base is up, just waiting to get saturated. We have muscular augments completed for the Hydras, so he can cross the map very, very, very quickly, but Stallion, he's not even going to wait for that. He just GG's straight out. Nice game by Rear. A little bit of a better defense by Stallion, and this might not have worked, but as it is, it was, you know, the maneuvering and the army movements was really the pivotal, the crux of the strategy with the Overlord drops. He did a beautiful job of pulling the armies one way or the other way. Yeah. So let me catch up with the chat. Bell, what is your best race and what league can you reach with it? I only play Protoss. My highest rank was #1 diamond. Nifty Nathan, if the Phoenix saw the Overlords, yes. That would have been pretty cool, because then the Protoss could react accordingly and reposition his army. And yes, Revengale, this game was definitely better than the first one. I have to agree. Alright, going on into game number 3. It is going to be a ZVT on Belshir Vestige. And it is going to be a Grandmaster versus a Master. Okay, so jumping into the game, we have a Grandmaster level player from Lowland Lions, I do believe, MSI Yona, the red Zerg player, spawning in the bottom position. In the top position of Belshir Vestige, we have Moomin from YAO, and it's actually a she, so she will be spawning in the top. I think it's a she, actually. Yeah, I think. Yep, definitely. Confirmed. We have a female Terran here. So, blue Terran spawning in the top. Now this map, I have to say, as far as Terran play goes, is pretty darn good for mech. Even versus Protoss, the map is really good for mech. Because if you take a look over the map, consider having a tank here, sieged up. You cover this area quite nicely, which are 2 approach paths. Consider having a tank here, or even having a tank here. This is pretty much a death zone for anybody approaching. You can cover with a tank there, you can cover this area quite well. That's another choke that you have under your command. And then when you're attacking, or defending even, where was that Imba tank location? I can't find it right now, but there was one, trust me. Anyways, we have Yona just scouting everything everywhere, and Moomin just going to be getting a Reaper, I guess. Yeah, there we go, the Reaper. So 15 hatch for the Zerg, followed by a gas and a pool, which means he will have 100 gas when the pool finishes, or very close to it. He can start the speed straight away. And you know, this is a pretty good opening versus pretty much anything in this matchup. And you can then transition out of it in a variety of ways. Now, of course, I will tell you who submitted this replay after I finish casting the game, and I'll do proper shoutouts because I don't want to spoil anything, since people usually submit their wins and not their losses. So we see Moomin following this up with a reactor and a factory. Most probably will be moving into Hellions, as is, you know, the current standard. Meanwhile, scouting out the base, seeing the second gas, seeing the speed go down, seeing no queens, so she knows that as long as she can kill all these Zerglings, she is going to be cost efficient. And also, she has to know, because, you know, being a high master or top master ranked player, you have to know the queen timings, and the queens are just about now going out of the hatcheries, so the Reaper has to pull back. The factory is getting close to completion though, still only on 1 gas, and an expansion is almost finishing for Moomin. So she's got everything going just dandy for her. Speed is about halfway down. We don't see any roach warrens going down though, so probably Yona just wants to be defending with a pure Ling versus Hellions. That's not a very good idea, unless you want to be playing ultra defensive, like, you know, making a little bit of a choke here, getting a spine crawler here, or something to that effect. This Reaper still being active, still, you know, watching for any Zerglings moving out on the map. So by this, Moomin knows that she's got nothing to fear out on the map, because she did not see any Zerglings going out. So she knows the Zerg is totally blind, basically. And now the Reaper will have to go away and probably will be killed by these Speedlings, but that's a lot of Speedlings. 6 Speedlings being built. Kill the Reaper. Okay, and now Yona can expand. Probably. No? No. She's taking a second gas. Alright, so a later expansion for Yona. I must say I'm a little bit surprised. But maybe he just wants to scout first. So he sees 4 Hellions. And, you know, if he had that Roach Warren by now, he could expand with impunity, but and still have quite a lot of larvae. But the Roach Warren is only just now going down, as well as 2 evolution chambers. So, well, that's a pretty slow expansion, let me tell you that. It's a pretty slow expansion. And that plays right into the hands of Moomin, because she's getting hellbats now. And hellbats, they are really supply efficient. And you know what that means. It allows you to take a third base very, very quickly because, oh, as I say it, because you know that they have a lot of durability. They stay alive for a pretty long time, and they are hard to kill, and are very dangerous when dropped into the mineral lines of your opponent. So 2 or 4 hellbats in this mineral line means that you are safe to do any friggin' thing you want. You can cut all your production moderately and just get up your infrastructure and a third base. We have a medvac out on the way as well. Moomin going around her business, just scouting around the map, finds the third base and fires a few volleys on it before the defensive forces come. Oh, nice attempted surround from both sides, but Moomin too good for that. She immediately pulls back. And I really like the positioning of the Marine as well, trying to deny scouting, so this Overlord is probably going to be picked off and denied any immediate scouting. Meanwhile, we do have the Hellbats making their way into the mineral line. No blue flame, though. Oh, and that's not a good place to fight with Zerglings, dude. Another drop is, of course, at the natural. Let's see how many drones were killed in the end. So far, 6 drones have gone down. Now, one thing about these Hellbats is they're pretty slow, so... Oh, nice move there. I was just waiting for that to happen. So, you know, this is what I said before. Moomin, she's keeping her opponent back in his base, and she can just comfortably get more units and infrastructure up. No +1/+1 though. That's a little bit of a mistake, I have to say. Definitely should have been getting +1/+1 behind this. Because the Zerg +1/+1 will be finishing momentarily here, which will put Yona at a sizable upgrade advantage versus the Terran. And that's not what you want to have, of course. Because, you know, the Terran army, unless you have a huge numbers advantage, at which point it's mostly an all-in, does not compare well versus a Zerg army that has an upgrade advantage. Oh no, this medevac, okay, unloads the hellbats before it goes down, but gets 4 more drone kills. I don't actually know if that was entirely cost efficient, as we can see, but killing any number of drones is always good. 51 SCVs to 61 drones, going to be taking a third base, and we have a lair going down at 11 minutes 30 seconds. That's a really, really, really late lair. Now, you know, time basically is playing against Yona right now, and that's just because of that very, very, very late lair timing. Because the tech is so much delayed. I mean, this should have been the time where Hydras should be entering the field, or Mutalisks, or anything, but it's not. But it's not. So, you know, if there is an attack coming in the next 2 minutes or so, Yona's way, he's gonna have a lot of problems. He's gonna be in a world of hurts. Like I said, this Overlord is going to be picked off, but, you know, it's a little bit late for scouting right now. Basically, the only thing you can scout right now at this stage in the game is a weird tech choice, or something to that effect. Because, you know, you have already seen what your opponent is going for, so there's no point to scout the main base any longer. So now we have a Baneling Nest and a Spire going down at the same time. No Hydralisk then, even though we do have ranged upgrades on the way. I'm really confused here with Yona's choice of... Yona's decision making, basically, because getting ranged upgrades while apparently trying to go Link Bane Muta and then a Roach speed. Is he going to just go Bane, Roach, Muta? That's a really weird composition and very gas heavy. I mean, he's double expanding, but he's got an army on his friggin' doorstep and not much to defend with. Okay, now all the Banelings morph, but they all detonate on the hellbats. Half of this army is still alive, but I think it is going to be pushed back just comfortably here. But the aggression is not over. Let us see what Moomin does next. She did want to drop into the main, I feel like, but at the same time she was thinking, hey, maybe there's a 4th base I can pick off, and indeed there is. And there she stims in, going after the 4th base. The army has a long way to go around to defend this, and I think that army might be barely in time to save this hatch. But right now Moomin goes in and target fires it down, loads up immediately, goes back into the main, and I do believe that Yona at this point was just smashing his keyboard, because this is really annoying to have happened to. Okay, so now we have the... Wow, he's going with all the upgrades. What the hell? Okay, so now we have the bending speed, the +2/+2 ranged, I mean melee, and +1 air weapons. Do we have any Mutalisks out on the field, though? No, just roaches, some lings, banelings. Oh, nice positioning here, nice position for Moomin, going from 2 sides. The banelings all stuck in the back, and that's not helping the fight, and Yona's case... Not one bit. All the banelings have exploded, and all that is left is a couple of roaches and queens. Imagine those banelings being in the front. The battle would have looked entirely differently, but as it is, the Zerg forces are pulled back. And look at this, the Zerg is using up all of his gas and all of his income just to make Lings and Banelings. Now we both know, and we all know, both you guys watching and me casting, that once Baneling blow up, they're gone. That's it. No more Banelings. So basically, the Zerg is being as cost ineffective as he can be right now. It's almost as if he's trying to be cost ineffective. And if we look at the supplies, it's 200 versus 127. And, well, Moomin, she's taking a 4th base. She's in a very, very, very good spot. 3-3 on the way, +2 for vehicle weapons to get those hellbats a little bit of a more of an oomph in their attack. The only thing Yona has got going for him is this fabulous creep spread, but fails to surround the army. Lots of explosions going down, but decent splitting by Moomin, minimizing the damage. I think it's going to be just enough to push this army back, and more links that will stream in are going to force Moomin to pick up and leave. 70 drones versus 66 SCVs. Let's see. We have quite a lot of production for the Terran. Quite honestly, should build more barracks at this point. And, well, the Zerg is just struggling getting his 4th base up. His gas income is really minimal. And his upgrades are not that good either. Actually, the Terran is out-upgrading him. And here we have Moomin moving towards the 4th base. The other 4th base yet again. If this base goes down, it's going to be GG. There is, I mean, as it is, there is some small chance that the Zerg might come back into this, but if this base goes down, there is no chance ever. No chance in hell. And Yona, he's just holding on by a thread here. Narrowly defending the attack, just having barely enough units to defend that. And that's why I'm saying that more production is needed, because the Terran should be able to be remaxing quite a lot faster than she's doing right now. 4 lonely Mutalisks trying to go into the main base and snipe some SCVs. This is the Top Gun of StarCraft, and one of these has to be Maverick and the other one has to be Goose and Iceman. Another engagement at the fort. Movement is really intent on getting this base down. Nice splitting. The Baneling's going all the wrong way, up the ramp instead of into the army, and again, putting the Marauders in the front means that those Banelings minimize their damage output. Mutalisk still trying to harass, but not killing all that many workers because there's only 4 of them. Moomin killing this 4th base means that, you know, the main of the Zerg mined out, the natural very close to being mined out, only 300 odd minerals remaining, and basically Yona is going to be down to 2 base economy here very, very shortly, or even a 1 base economy if he fails to establish a 4th here or here. And, well, those mutas... Okay, I take back what I said. That's a pretty good Top Gun, being only 4 of them, killing so many SCVs, but finally they do go down. I wouldn't actually mind these Marines staying here. And, well, another scan reveals another base. Banelings are not morphed in yet. It's going to take quite a while until they do. And Moomin already has her units pre-split. Nice position here in the choke. The Banelings will do almost 0 damage to those. Marauders are still staying alive. Marine reinforcements are coming in. The base goes down. And I think GG's should not be far away. There goes the load up. Probably a drop into the main base. The nail in the coffin. The final blow to a dying beast. And there it is. Yona GG's out from the game. So guys, this game was brought to you by YAO Moomin. She's a master level Terran. And I'll just post and link you the Twitter. This is Team YAO. And this is Moomin's Twitter if you want to check her out. You can do so at MoominSC2 if you want to check out more of her play. And you know what they say about females in StarCraft. Well, all I can say is that Moomin, if you have a webcam and a cleavage, you're gonna have a lot of viewers. I'm joking, of course, but yeah. All it takes is like, dress with a decently low cut t-shirt or a shirt and have a webcam on. Gonna get a lot of viewers. Not taking away from your play. Your play is very nice. Very, 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 very good. I enjoyed that game thoroughly. I don't have cleavage. And I'm not about to change my sex to a female. Excuse me, I like my dick the way it is. Thank you very much. I don't want it to be cut off. What? You need confirmation on what? I don't have cleavage. God, no. God damn it. Like, I don't have boobs. Come on, dude, wake up. Anyways, guys, for those that just tuned in, you are watching Cast My Game episode 3, where I, a wannabe caster, cast your games. If you have a 1v1 game of you or your friends that is around 20 minutes long and both of the players are master level, send it to me to my email, which is down below, BelleNOiR@cesnam.cz, with the title Cast My Game. And include a short description, maybe a couple of Twitter links if you have those, or your team name, any additional information I can use as shoutouts if you do want me to shout you out, of course. And I might just cast the game because, I'm trying to pick the best games I'm receiving, which, some of the games have been really terrible. I'm sorry to say, but, Master versus Master and the games were just terrible. So sometimes it happens. I'm trying to pick the best ones, or at least the most entertaining ones. And we go into the final game right now. Where is it? Alright. Okay, the final game is going to be a ZVP. And this one was submitted by Sparks. It is going to be played on Acheron Wastes. Going into last game, guys. I hope you're enjoying. How are the cleavage in my classroom? I'm not going to school any longer. I'm working. So I don't know. Alright, this is Acheron Wastes. This is the red Zerg Cruzo spawning in the bottom right. In the top left we do have Sparks, the blue Protoss. And I assume this is a ladder game just because of the colors. And, well, Sparks is going to be Forge Fast Expanding. Yep, definitely feels like it. Yes, I am a teacher, but I teach music, one-on-one, guitar lessons. And, my girl students are not old enough to have a cleavage yet. So... I am a music tutor. So... See these nails? Oh, you can't see them, okay. See these nails? This is what a guitarist's nails look like. Let me actually check if you see those. Yeah. So these are my nails on my right hand. And these are my non-existent nails on my left hand. So, we have this probe trying to delay the hatch from going down, and has done so very successfully. Even for wow, doing a very good job. Oh my goodness, very good job of denying the hatchery. First, forcing Crusoe to build a pool instead of the hatch, and now, oh my God, that hatch was delayed by such a long time. 35 seconds delaying the hatch. That's really quite a lot of time. So Forge going down. Might be smart to close that wall off as soon as possible, I have to say. Otherwise, you run the risk of 4 or 6 Zerglings just running past. And you know, Crusoe sees that the wall is not yet finished. He does see the Forge timing though, so he knows that, you know, trying to make lings and running past would not be the best idea. Because the cannon would be finished by the time he got there with the lings. Not really the best use of resources. Okay, so Sparks is going to rescout the Zerg, trying to find out if a third base has gone down, and so far it has not, neither there nor here. Overlords are getting ready in position to scout the Protoss base. And the cybernetic score is just now going down, so in about 2 minutes, I think Crusoe will very much like to scout the Protoss to know what he's up to. Taking a rather, well, okay, never mind. It's a normally timed gas. And let's see. Did he see that drone? I mean, that probe. No, but now he sees it. Immediately going after it. Look at this, even selecting the Zergling, really showing that he's very, very attentive to the minimap. So this probe is going to go down, and the third base still has not gone down. That is really, really peculiar. Meanwhile, on the Protoss side of things, we are going to be seeing a Stalker being built behind a Zealot. No Mothership Core yet, which is really odd. So probably Sparks is saving the gas for something else. Doesn't have all that much of it, to be honest. And getting a sentry instead of the Mothership Core. Okay. Whoa! Alright, 3 gateways and a Stargate going down, but we still don't have gases being taken at the natural base. So, you know, one of the things this can be, let me actually check if he did get the +1 or if he will in the near future. Doesn't look like it. Double evolution chambers going down for Crusoe. So this looks like some sort of a 2-base. We'll see by the upgrades. Okay, this so far this looks like a 2-base Muta build. But the thing I'm confused about is there is no lair. The lair should have been going down by now. Or very, very quickly, that is. And those gases are a tiny incy bit later. Okay, there we have the lair, so, you know, he'll be getting a lot of Zerglings by the looks of it, and probably will get a Spire. And I was almost expecting to see a Void Ray come out of this Stargate because, this is a really weird build by Sparks. The Stargate is a lot later than you would normally expect it to be. Instead, favoring getting those gateways up sooner. He isn't getting +1 attack neither, and missing an Overlord here. Quite an obvious spot for an Overlord, yet he missed the spot. So, well, not doing the best job. And the lair is about to be done, so let's see what ends up going down for the Zerg. 1-1 almost finished. Infestation Pit. Okay, scratch my assumption about Mutalisks. This pretty much... Trying to think here. A lair, 1-1 upgrades, an Infestation Pit, third base... Well, it might be just this Lean Orc build where you go pure Ling the whole game and then make a make an Ultralisk switch late game, but I'm kind of confused by the lateness of the third base. That's a very, 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 very late third base, and that kind of scares me. Meanwhile, the third base is going to be denied by the Zerg. Those rocks are still in place. Oh my goodness, now wouldn't you be mad if this happened to you? Rocks having 120 hit points and you're unable... Okay, the one pylon stayed up. Crusoe not doing the best job of sniping that pylon off. If that pylon went down, this Nexus would have been in a much greater danger than it was now. As it is, the sentries have made their way, trapping the Zerglings, but not the best force fields. The sentries but all of them actually have gone down. Some of the Lings make their way into the main base and will try to kill at least some number of probes, and they will. There we go, 4 or 5. Oh my god, never fight with your probes. No, no, never fight with your probes. 10 probes going down, putting us back to 40 versus 44 harvesters, and that's what I said at the start. I'm really scared by the lateness of this third base. +2 melee and +2 carapace going down, and there we have the hive. So yeah, very fast Ultralisks, but I'm kind of concerned about the lack of bases for Crusoe, because if this doesn't work, you're pretty much screwed, because you don't have the gas to transition out of this, and frankly, you don't have the minerals to build as many Ultras as you'd want. Zerglings are really, really, really mineral heavy. They're really larva heavy, so you want to have you really want to have those bases up a lot faster if you're trying to do this build. And has Sparks actually scouted the Ultra Cavern? No, has not. He did kill some drones though, which is, you know, that's always good. And he's transitioning into Colossi. So he's trying to like use air units to force out Hydras and then just go Colossi. And he's even getting +1 air weapons. This is a really interesting move. Maybe he wants to be complementing his Gateway Colossi army with Void Rays. This is a style that was really popular in the old Wings of Liberty, where basically you got a Stalker Colossus army with Blink and like 6 Void Rays or something like that. It was nigh unkillable. It was nigh unkillable until Zergs actually realized that they can use Infestors against that. But until they did start using Infestors, those Void Rays pretty much killed everything that got near the Death Ball, together with the Stalkers, and the Colossi were just killing everything on the ground. So, yeah, the Zergs were QQing a lot back then. So double Colossi production, that will be very useful for Sparks, because there are a lot of Lings, and will be a lot of Lings out on the map. I wouldn't be surprised to see like 80 Lings and 6 Ultralisks or something to that effect. Adrenal glands nearing completion. First Ultralisks are in production as well. And holy moly, look at that creep spread. This is phenomenal. The creep is covering almost all of the map. And, you know, don't get me wrong, but Sparks better start doing something about that creep. He had better. Because, I mean, it will take another 2 minutes or so, and both of these 2 bases will be creeped up. And then the only base he can take is here. And that's going to be it for bases. And the Zerg will pretty much have the perfect positioning in every single battle Sparks decides to take, because he will see where the Protoss army is. Look how many creep tumors there are. Everywhere. So good. Okay, so looks like Spark has seen the Ultras. Yep. He does see those Ultras, so he should switch into Immortal production. I mean, he already has, with the next 2 Colossi, he already will have quite enough of Colossi. And he's actually getting Dark Shrine as well. The creep spread is continuing, though, and... well, this is the part of the game where there is just not enough APM to do everything for both of these players. Because look, those Phoenixes are inactive and have been for a long time. And Sparks is trying to do what he can to at least macro properly, take bases and everything. And oh my god, that creep! That creep, dude. Sparks, come on, man. Be a man, go out there and get rid of that creep. No? Alright, then I'm just going to cancel your base, thank you very much. Huge warping of Zealots, but that's not going to be enough, especially not with these Ultralisks. And oh, but this is a really good position for Sparks to engage into, attacking melee units with ranged units without the melee units being able to retaliate. Even Time Warp going down, that's not very effective versus Ultralisks on creep. It just slows them down very, very, very slowly. And okay, Sparks killing a couple of creep tumors there, but retreating back. The harvester count is pretty good, 69 probes. That's quite a lot. And well, quite honestly, Cruzo should be taking this base, this base. He should be taking all the bases right now, all of them. I'm not even kidding. This is the prime time to do so. But no, instead he's going double spire. So maybe preparing a huge Mutalisk switch once the Ultras get rid of all the ground army, the Stalkers and stuff, but most likely it is going to be a Broodlord switch. It's also an option. And we even have a Baneling Nest trying to research centrifugal hooks. Yeah. Centrifugal hooks. So one base going down, some of the creep is being... Wow, this is the first time I have seen a Mothership Core pairing up with an Observer trying to take out creep tumors. That's the first. Yeah, okay, Ultralisks. Come to try to kill the Mothership Core, which is flying units. But the Queen will take care of it. Probably. Okay, with the Time Warp, no it won't. The most important thing right now, though, is that the fourth base is... the fourth base is up for the Protoss. Almost. And unless Cruzo kills it... Oh! 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 We have DTs ravaging the third base. 22 drones killed. So this is what Cruzo's been preoccupied. Those Lings coming in just a little bit too late to save that hatch. But quite honestly, with his bank, he can just elect to rebuild that base very, very fast. Without any issues. Let's see what the upgrades are. 2-1 for the Protoss. And 1 air weapons. And, well, the Zerg is on 3-3. He's got chitinous plating, adrenal glands, he's got banelings, and he's rounding up his composition with infestors. Infestors are going to be tremendously useful versus Zealots and air units. I mean, he's got a perfect ground army, but he's got nothing versus air. That's where the infestor comes in. And if Sparks identifies this, that there is no anti-air on the ground, if he identifies this, then pretty much all he has to do is just pump as many Void Rays as he can and go Storm. And he's going just reinforce with Zealot. Excuse me. And it's going to be quite good. Nice Fungals on all the Void Rays going down, fungaling everything, all the Colossi as well. They are going to go and die. But the Zealots have been killed. The Stalkers will not last long. There is still a lot of Void Rays remaining in the air, though, and these Ultralisks, they are right now between a rock and a hard place. The Nexus Cannon, these cannons, the Stalkers and the Void Rays. And this is not an efficient use of your Ultralisks. They are by no means going to get that Nexus, not as long as these Void Rays help out and target fire them down. There we go. These two are very low on hit points, and the Nexus stays alive. So that was Cruzo just donating his whole army to his Protoss opponent, basically. And he really should have had this base up a long time ago. So he's trying to remax on Corruptors for whatever reason. You know, if he pulled back with those Ultras, I mean, he's got creep all this way here. If he pulled back, killed these rocks very quickly, and then just go and kill this base instead. That would have been much better for him. Because then Sparks could either defend from this point, which would take him a long time to get there, or he could have defended from this point, at which In which case he would have gotten on the creep. Oh no! The storm goes off on all the Corruptors, and yet again catching every single one of them. I think these Void Rays will actually survive. All the Corruptors die. And that was the whole bank that Crusoe had. He's trying to make even more Corruptors, but it's not going to work. Frankly, he does not have enough mineral income. He's trying to flood Lings, but the Zealots are pretty well upgraded, and they're going to slow those down quite a lot. Even Phoenix is taking on Corruptors? Are you kidding me? And still more and more Corruptors being built. And if I feel like Crusoe just does not have resources. He's got almost 40 larvae, but he's got no money to spend it. And he's got I mean, one thing he's missing right now is units, basically. He's got the right composition. He may even get some of those Vipers. That would be very good. I mean, putting those Colossi into Vipers or those Void Rays above Infestors or something to that effect, and those battles would be quite different. And as it is, you know, Sparks sees that no base for the Zerg here. He's probably going to check this location while he's moving across the map. And look at this! He just doesn't have enough gas to remax on units he would like to have remaxed on, but he's still at 170 food. His army composition is, well, a little bit of everything. But he's at, like, the biggest thing here is the 10 High Templars. And they are all going to have storms. Some of them even 2 storms. And that's the biggest threat to Crusoe right now, because he is on Lings. And moreover, if those storms hit the Corruptors, he's trying to go Broodlords, but that's not a good way to go. I mean, there's a lot of Void Rays in the air. You don't want to be switching into Broodlords when there already is an answer for them. And he still has nothing to kill those Void Rays. Oh, that's a lot of Corruptors. If the storms go down on those, bam, son! You're never gonna kill those Void Rays, are you kidding me? And now the Corruptors are above the Stalkers, taking heavy shots, and still quite a lot of Templars remaining. And that forces the GG out of Crusoe. So quite an interesting game there. Really, all it took, in my opinion, all it took was take those bases faster. Take those bases faster, and you would have just like raffle stomped this guy. On the Protoss side of things, I would have to say that, you know, having a smoother opening, basically getting 3 additional gateways and then a Stargate does not make a whole lot of sense unless you want to do something like a gateway Zealot Void Ray all-in very quickly off 2 bases. You can actually do that of 2 gases, but if you're not going for that, it's way better to just have 1 gate and get the Stargate as soon as possible, and then take your gases and then build the additional gateways, because that's way more efficient. And yeah, as far as the Zerg goes, I would really have loved to have seen that 3rd base go down way sooner. And if not the 3rd base, then the lair should have been sooner. The gases should have been slightly sooner as well. And just basically, I don't know. I mean, if you're delaying your 3rd base, you pretty much have to go for lair tech mid-game army and do a giant push, very strong push towards your opponent. If you're not going for a mid-game push, if you're going for late-game units such as Ultralisks, take that 3rd base faster. Really. I'm not kidding. Take it faster. It makes a whole lot of sense, because Hive units are the most expensive units the Zerg has. So why would you delay your 3rd and 4th bases if you're going Hive units? That doesn't make any sense. But the creep spread was phenomenal, I have to say. One of the best creep spreads I have seen recently. Alright guys, wrapping things up. This is going to be it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, this has been Cast My Game episode number 3. If you have any games, 1v1 replays with both players being masters, and It has to be around approximately 20 minutes long. Send it to my email down there, BelleNOir dot BelleNOir at cesnam.cz. And if it's good enough, if if it's one of the better games I have received, then I will pick it. I will cast it. Remember, Cast My Game is live the whole week except Wednesday, and on weekends I have a day off. Sorry, dudes. So thanks everybody for watching, and until tomorrow, I'm just going to wish you good luck, have fun, and remember to storm first and ask questions later.